Ah, yes. Spider-Man 3. So, set a year after the events of Spider-Man 2, the film follows Peter Parker as he prepares for his future with Mary Jane Watson while facing three new villains: Uncle Ben's true killer, Flint Marko, who becomes Sandman after a freak accident; Harry Osborn, his former friend who is now aware of Peter's identity and seeks to avenge his father; and Eddie Brock, a rival photographer who becomes Venom. Peter also faces his greatest challenge when he bonds with an extraterrestrial symbiote that increases his ability but brings out his anger and other negative traits. Alright, so I love the first two movies, but this is the one where you can tell that Sony, the studio behind this film really got too handsy. They, Sam Raimi wanted. He originally wanted another villain to be included along with Sandman. And producer Avi Arad, he added Venom, and also requested the addition of Gwen Stacy. And at the time, it was one of the most expensive films ever made. I don't know what to say about this movie except one word. One word describes this entire movie, and that's this. This Spider-Man 3 is a clusterfuck. There's like so many subplots and so many characters. By the way, if you hear any noises, one, my mom is cleaning. She's like right outside, and two, there's thunder outside, so you might be hearing some thunderstorms out there. So anyway, going back into the movie, I've wrote down everything that is wrong with Spider-Man 3. So let's begin. This movie introduced the character of Gwen Stacy, played by Bryce Dallas Howard. I love Bryce Dallas Howard, but she's only there to serve as another love interest. There's no reason that Gwen Stacy should be here. Gwen Stacy shouldn't be here. Now we got a fucking love triangle. It would have been better to just remove Gwen Stacy and focus on continue the romance between Peter Parker and Mary Jane. Why the fuck is Gwen Stacy here? Fucking Sony. And also the other subplot that Flint Marko is the real Uncle Ben killer. And it's just, why is this a subplot? Why is this here? I mean, it's not the guy from the first film. It turns out to be Sandman, and he's not. And then Harry Osborn, the new Goblin, who suffers amnesia, a very terrible plot device. He suffers amnesia, he can't remember who he is, and then later on he remembers, he gets all his memories back, and then he tries to kill Peter, and then he teamed up with Peter. And oh my god, Topher Grace as Venom. That is not Venom. This movie completely ruined Venom. Like, this movie has so many has so many the overuse of like too many villains. Like, just focus on one villain. Like, this whole trilogy is setting up Harry Osborn as a villain. Make it Harry Osborn. Harry Osborn should be the villain of the film. Save Venom and Sandman for a future film. Just focused on Harry Osborn. But, oh my god, this movie completely ruined Topher Grace. This movie completely ruined Venom. That is not Venom. That thing is not Venom. Venom always says, "We are Venom." It's a characteristic. If you know anything about Venom, he always says, "We are Venom." But in this shit, he says, "I want to kill the spider. You want to kill the spider." You're like, that's not Venom. Venom's, and by the way, he's not intimidating. Venom is not scary. He's not intimidating. He comes off as goofy thanks to Topher Grace's performance. He comes off as goofy and just terrible. And he, of course, the movie shoehorns Venom into the final battle of the film. And the use of bad digital effects and CGI, especially when, you know, Spider-Man and Harry Osborn, or with Venom, like when, you know, swinging around, you know, all over New York City, like the use, it looked pretty noticeable. Like, it looked really bad. And of course, the fucking line that I will never forgive. It's probably a bird. It'll fly away. And I'm like, how about you check and make sure it's an actual bird, you fucking dumbass. You're a bunch of scientists. How about you get up your asses and actually check if it's a bird? It's not. And the writing of Peter Parker and Mary Jane is something like they completely Peter Parker comes off as unlikable in this film. Like, he gives like these pep talks and motivational speeches. If you fall off the horse, you have to get back on the horse. And then Mary Jane, I hated Mary Jane in this film. She comes off as jealous that Spider-Man, Peter Parker, is kissing Gwen Stacy. And then she's having issues with all these critics. Let's see here. Oh my god. And of course, the emo Peter Parker with the fucking bangs, and then him dancing on the streets. Bam, 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 bam. And then him dancing at the jazz club. Oh my god. What the hell? It's like I stumbled. I'm like, am I still watching a Spider-Man movie? Like, what the fuck is this shit? Am I watching a Spider-Man movie, or is this like a musical, like a Spider-Man musical? I felt like I stumbled into the wrong auditorium. It's just, this movie has so much. This movie should have, like I said, just remove Gwen Stacy. Just continue focusing the romance between Peter Parker and Mary Jane. Have Harry Osborn be the villain of the film. Save Venom and Sandman for a future film. You know, it's very unfortunate, really. Now, I don't hate this movie. I think it's I was very upset with this film. It was a major disappointment, you know, following the first two successful films. But like in this one, it was a major disappointment. It really is. And it's so sad because in another universe, in another reality, this movie was great, and Spider-Man 4 would have been made. And I heard like Bruce Campbell is supposed to be Bruce Campbell, who's been making cameo appearances in all these films, first as the ringleader, then Um, fuck, I forgot. Oh, the Usher. I totally forgot about Spider-Man 2. Yeah, as the Usher, and then also here as a waiter. He was supposed to be set up as Mysterio, and then Anne Hathaway was supposed to portray Felicia Hardy, but she's not supposed to not turn into the Black Cat like in the comics. She's supposed to be something called the Vulturess. John Malkovich was supposed to play the Vulture, and it's sad that that'll never happen. That it will never see the light of day. This movie just it has so many subplots and so many subplots and so many characters that as a result, the whole story, the whole plot of the film is very convoluted and complicated and just oversaturated. It's just so much bullshit is in this film as a result. It's sad, really. But anyway, now don't get me wrong. I don't hate this movie. It's a major disappointment, but I don't hate this film. There are some moments in this movie that I actually really liked or / loved, like the whole Sandman, the whole birth of Sandman, like when he's in the pit and he's struggling to get back up, he's struggling to like form himself, and then the beautiful score playing in the background. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful moment. And also like the Lizard too. The franchise was supposed to set up the Lizard. So yeah, the Lizard, Vulture, Felicia Hardy, Mysterio. They were all supposed to be, but that'll never happen, thanks to this film. But yeah, that's all I have to say for Spider-Man 3. What a major disappointment. What a huge letdown. And they did it again. Sony did it all over again with The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Congratulations. So if you've seen Spider-Man, let me know what you thought about it in the comment section below. Thank you so much for taking your time to listen to my review. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this video, and I will see you soon.